Mods are an essential part of Hypixel Skyblock to get things done efficiently. That's why in today's video, I'll be showing you some of the best quality of life features that'll make your experience way more enjoyable. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it and it helps the channel out a ton. Also, if you're wondering what my texture pack or shaders are, head on over to my Discord. I'm usually pretty active there and we do giveaways all the time. See you there. To make it easier, I'll split up the mod features into 3 segments: General Skyblock, Dungeons, and Other. There's a lot of mods, but today I'll only be covering the ones that are compatible with Forge. This is because I'm not familiar with clients like Badlion, and Forge is generally better for Skyblock. Also, most of the features on this list require free mods like Skyblock Add-ons, Skytils, Patcher, and not enough updates. Only a few will require you to have Skyblock Extras, which costs 5 USD, but it's well worth the money if you play often. Starting with General Skyblock, damage suffixes and commas. So you've probably killed a mob and had trouble seeing how much damage you actually dealt. Well, what this mod feature does is change the default Skyblock damage and adds either commas or a suffix to the rounded damage. For example, if you dealt 174,000 damage, instead of seeing numbers like 174000, it would look like 174 with a K suffix meaning 1000. You can find it in the Not Enough Updates mod called Damage Indicator, or for Skyblock Extras it's Prettified Damage Markings. Personally, I prefer SBE's feature as it leaves 1 decimal place compared to none from NEU. Warping into different lobbies can feel laggy and take a while. There's actually a mod feature that removes all the unnecessary loading to make warping feel instant. It's called Optimized World Swapping and is found in the free Patcher mod. Not only does it remove the loading screen delay, it stops random disconnects which you might get from warping places. The Patcher mod basically does what it is called. It patches any problems with Skyblock and makes your experience a ton better. Backpacks can be super helpful because they're essentially ender chests, but they don't get wiped. Like seriously though, as ender chest wipes are so common, I'd suggest that you never put anything of value in them. Anyway, Not Enough Updates provides its own Storage GUI to view and enter every backpack or ender chest that you have in your storage. There's heaps of customizations and you can even search for any required item. A similar but somewhat different feature that SBE offers is called Custom Wardrobe Menu, which allows you to click on the whole set instead of the regular small die. Accidentally dropping items and getting warped has always been one of my worst fears in Skyblock. However, this has all changed when Skyblock Add-ons added the ability to lock slots. The feature is called Allow Locking Slots, and by hovering over an item and pressing the assigned button, usually it's L, it'll lock the slot, making you unable to pick it up until it is unlocked. Skyblock also has a double tap to drop feature, which I'll talk more about later. If you play a lot of dungeons, you probably get a lot of ultimate enchants. Combining ultimate enchants can take a while, especially because you can't see what tier or book your enchants are until you read their description. To speed the process up, there's a feature on Skytils called Show Enchanted Book Tier, and it displays the tier on the book's icon. This can also be used for minion and potion tiers, which makes sorting chests so much easier. The other feature I was talking about is called Show Enchanted Book Abbreviation, which puts the book's type on the top left of the book. Although Ultimate Wise and Wisdom have the same icon, it makes it so much easier to sort enchantments from loot chests. Talking about making things easier to sort, Skyblock Add-ons, Not Enough Updates, and Skyblock Extras all allow the ability to color enchants on tools. It also just makes tools look nice and more aesthetic. This next feature is one of my favorites. It gets rid of all block breaking particles. This feature is probably appreciated by farmers the most, as you can probably tell. It's also super helpful with cheesing secrets in rooms and dungeons, as you're able to see the chest or lever much more clearly. The feature can be found in Patcher under the name Disable Breaking Particles. Some people like running Minecraft GUIs on large, which I totally get, it's personal preference. The only problem with that is, it doesn't work with Skyblock. Items like the Hyperion have massive item laws, or better known as descriptions. This isn't a mod feature, in fact it's a whole mod called Scrollable Tooltips which was created for this exact purpose. As you can probably tell, it is what it's called. You'll be able to scroll up and down on the item's descriptions, which don't fit on your screen. Oh wait, what's this? Subscribe to Jake the Doggo. Huh, didn't know that was there. For real though, you've probably been watching my videos and haven't clicked that red button, so please consider doing so. Moving on, most Skyblock players use the Minecraft version 1.8.9, but this means the maximum amount of characters that they can send in chat is 100. On Minecraft versions above 1.11 however, you're able to type up to 256 characters. The mod patcher has a feature called 1.11 chat length, which basically simulates your 1.8.9 chat to have the 1.11 character limit of 256. Personally, I find this feature super useful as it's easy to use and you won't need to worry about typing multiple messages to say your point. This next feature is probably one of the most well known, but I wanted to add it in because some players still don't have it enabled. I'm talking about the custom health, mana, defense and speed GUIs that Skyblock Add-ons provides. It's totally up to you what you want to use, but I personally like keeping my vanilla hearts for health and having a bar for mana. The reason for this is because I'm on high ping. There's a little bit of a delay, making the mod harder for me to tell what health I am on. Anyway, the point is that you're able to see your stats in much easier ways than you would be without the mod feature. Have you ever been in a party when someone all of a sudden spams the same message over and over? There's a mod feature called Compact Chat which literally compacts repeated messages into one line. They are then given a number in brackets next to it for the amount of times it was said. Compact Chat can also be very useful for dungeons as a lot of messages can be repeated, like fail messages for example. Yeah, there's a mod that copies your fails in your dungeon. It's found in Skytils and Skyblock Extras, so have fun using that to annoy your teammates. Finding the lowest bin so you can sell an item can get tiring, especially if you have heaps of different items to sell. The feature from NEU called Price Info allows you to find a somewhat accurate lowest bin price of a specific item by hovering over it. If you don't have the item and want to look up the lowest bin without going into the auction house, open your inventory, then type the item's name in the box at the bottom. The item will appear on the top right of your screen and you'll be able to hover over it to see the lowest bin. Oh, and just a quick tip, NEU's bin warning prevents you from selling an item for too low of a price in comparison to the lowest bin. Now onto the dungeon mod features. I assume quite a few of you already know these mod features I'm about to go over, but you may not. The first one is from the free mod Skytils, which hides non-stud dungeon mobs. I'm guessing by now you've noticed in dungeons that you don't need to kill every mob to clear a room, only the ones that have a star in their name tags. With this Skytils mod, it'll only show the starred mob's name tags, which makes it a ton easier to complete the rooms. Keep in mind that Fel's names only show up when they are woken, with or without the feature. Onto a more obvious feature, the dungeon map. Almost all mods including NEU, Skyblock Add-ons, Skytils and Skyblock Extras have this because it's very useful. You won't always need to flick to your ninth slot in your hotbar anymore to see the map, as it will always be displaying on your screen. Dungeon solvers are also quite helpful, but I won't go over them today because I'm sure you've already heard about them. If you're trying to aim for a fast run, score calculators are essential because they help tell players when to enter the blood portal. My favourite score calculator comes from Skyblock Extras as it's super accurate. The only time it can be inaccurate is when someone doesn't have the mod feature that lets everyone know that the mimic has been killed. Keep in mind that mimics can only be found in floor 6 and above. Anyway, Skytils also has a score calculator, but it can be a bit off and doesn't have a warning that 300 score has been reached, but for a free mod, it isn't terrible. Once a dungeon run has been finished, chests are rewarded as a result of how the run went. As a new player, it can be hard to figure out what chests give profit and what don't. By using the Dungeon Profit Calculator mod feature that NEU, SB, and Skytils all provide, you won't have a problem with losing money by opening negative profit chests. That is, as long as the mods don't bug out. Last of all, at the end of a dungeon, you are given 3 minutes to collect your loot from the chests. This time isn't often needed and most players go straight back into a dungeon. If this is done too fast without repartying, you'll be warped back into the same dungeon that hasn't closed yet. Repartying is the process of disbanding and inviting every player back into the same party. The party leader should always have the mod called Auto-reparty, and the members should have one called Auto-accept reparty. They sound like what they do, but do this mod at your own risk as technically it is a macro. I use Skyblock Extras reparty feature, but Skytils also has one which pretty much does the same thing. Finally, onto the other feature. This feature is one that is actually part of Skyblock. Remember when I said I would talk more about the double tap to drop feature? Well, it's one of the best non-mod features because it prevents any item, epic and above, from being accidentally dropped. If you did want to drop an item that's above epic, it's as simple as double tapping your drop key. Before, I went over heaps of features that prevent you from losing items like slot locking, but sometimes these can bug out as they aren't part of Skyblock. You can enable double tap to drop by going to your Skyblock menu, settings, and clicking the die under the diamond sword. Overall, quality of life mod features can make Skyblock a much more enjoyable game. There are so many more features which I didn't cover in this video, but you're able to explore them if you had the mods installed. That's all for today's video. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Don't forget to join my Discord. Thanks for watching. See ya!